I think whatever questions you're going to ask, other people are going to have the same exact questions. So just ask it as you, and I think that'll be very beneficial for whoever wants to, or
Sure,
whoever
sure,
ends up
sure.
watching this video.
Okay, okay, cool. Um, okay, let's see where I want to start here. I guess the first thing I'd bring up, I mean, this is like one of the first things that I wrote down is just the idea of, I don't know if I heard you talk about this or someone else, but just the idea of addiction and what that actually is, and the idea that what it really is like you avoiding your goals or avoiding something like that. Um, so when you look at it at that definition, um, yeah, man, I guess that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I guess I just want like your kind of feedback on that as far as like good habits versus bad habits, I guess. Um,
Hmm.
but that also kind of goes off into another category, which I guess is one of the more difficult parts of, I don't know, everything, is the people that you hang out with and the people that you're friends with a lot of times support your habits,
Yeah.
whether you want to have those habits or not. I'm sure you can relate to
Do they
that.
support? Uh, do they support my habits? Since we're talking about video games specifically, I'll say my group of friends, just growing up, in middle school, I would say up till middle school, I had a group of friends that regularly played video games with me. But once
Okay,
high school started, I started making new friends, and that's when I didn't have like none of my friends really played video games.
sure.
So it was yeah, it was kind of like I felt guilty or ashamed that I was like the only person playing video games while all my
Are you still there? Oh wow, I actually have your video feed this time.
sorry.
I had your video feed for like two
Hey James, can
seconds
you hear
and
me?
then it went away. Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, you did? Yeah, I can hear you. I got disconnected for a second for some reason.
Okay,
Um,
weird.
yeah, we'll just play with it. Uh, so I was talking about yeah, like my friends doing the same activities with addictions and stuff like that. So video games, high school, not like no one really played. I feel like
Sure.
I feel like most of my like whenever I played video games, it was really a solo thing. I didn't really do it socially like with friends. Occasionally I
Sure.
did in college.
Sure.
Uh, but I would say the majority of the time when I play video games, it was by myself in my room with my the friends I made online.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And for me, I don't know if yeah, see, I'm probably into a little bit different. I'm really into games that have a good story and that sort of thing. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so I have friends that I don't know, we hang out and drink beer, play games or whatever, but it's pretty much like, like story games and stuff like that. We talk about it, whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's I guess one of the weird things about it, because I don't know where I'm at in my life right now with wanting to completely eliminate games, um,
Hmm.
is you're kind of like in this limbo phase where like the friends that you used to hang out and drink beer and play games with are like they're like, why don't you want to do the same stuff we always do, and then you actually
Yeah.
you're moving in a different direction with your life, and you start to get to a point where you can't relate to those people as much anymore, and you're kind of like in between like groups of
Yeah.
friends, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess that was one of the
Okay.
things that I wondered what you had to say about. I guess more in particular. Yeah. So
Awesome. I think that's a great question. So my question to you is why video games?
what was it?
My question to you is why do you want to play video games? like completely?
Oh, okay.
What's behind that?
Okay. Honestly, there's a lot of different reasons. One of the main ones is just I look at, so I'm almost 25 right now. I'll be 25 in a couple months. And I'm just at that point where there's a lot of things that I want to accomplish in my lifetime, and I just don't know if
Mhm.
I don't know if I see that in my life at all. You know, that's kind of like the where I'm at right now is I don't know if I see it as something that I can be because I can't. I'm getting better at it, I feel like, but I can't always. It's just like anything else. It's just like someone watching Netflix or watching binge watching TV shows or whatever. Like I think everybody has times where they're not very responsible with their time. You end up procrastinating things that you need to get done, that sort of thing. And I just don't know for my future. I don't really see, especially during certain parts. I don't really see myself having time because there's so much that I want to accomplish. But like I said, right now I'm just kind of in that phase, which has been really good actually. Um, it was like the last video you put up where you said you just get everything done that you want to get done, and then you can let yourself do whatever. And since I've really like that was kind of like where I was on the verge, and then I watched your video where you said that, and I was like, wow, like that's totally what I should keep trying to do. Um,
Hey,
and
sorry,
like a
can you,
lot of
sorry, there's a little bit of bad connection. Can you repeat what you just said about you're watching? I heard the last thing I heard was you were watching my video and something about like getting your work done and then doing what you want.
yeah, yeah. So basically, that was kind of where like I was on the verge of being like I was because I don't know. This is one of the other things that I wrote down is has been my habits for most of my life is I will be really productive for a certain amount of time and I'll get a lot of stuff done and it'll be great. And then I will just kind of get complacent and I'll just start being lazy. I'll just start playing games a lot and then I'll feel really bad about myself and then I'll go back into being productive. And
Yeah,
it's just like a cycle of the two of those things. Of just sorry, I was sorry,
got
this
it, got it.
dog. But anyway, yeah, so
So
it's like
it
going.
sounds like you're on the right
You still there?
track. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I
Okay,
paused
cool.
because I think there's like a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
And then that's I'm like, wait, were you gonna do something? Okay, so to me, it sounds like you're right on the right track. You are. It sounds like you're taking steps forward. You, like you said, you were on the verge of creating kind of like a routine where you get your work done and then you can play games. But then you kind of slip back into uh, maybe playing some games and then you get lazy. And I think that's something that we all kind of face. That's I think that's the short answer is that's called discipline. It's having
Yeah.
the self discipline to do what we need to do to get to our goals and then reward ourselves or just allow ourselves to uh, take the rest of the day off or do whatever the heck that we want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess my quick advice is, and I say this in, I feel like this is the theme of my channel, but the thing is, whenever we do something good, just keep going. Never. I know this is very cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason because it's true. It's never give up. If you're going towards the right direction, keep going. And we're always gonna have times where we're gonna fail. We're going to take a step backwards, and that's okay. Accept, accept and be okay with that. Accept and what I would say is never beat yourself up because it's not ever going to be productive to you. Because
Yeah.
when we take a step back, or let's say when you are when you one day you're just like, you know what, oh man, I don't feel like doing work. I'm gonna go play video games or binge watch Netflix or something like that. Um, be okay with that certain moment. It happened. Um, so hold on, let me backtrack on that. Let me clarify what I just said.
Yeah. So what do
So
you? So you're saying be okay
let's
with?
say,
Yeah. So what do
yeah.
you're saying be okay with?
Oh man, bad connection. 1 second.
Yeah. Right.
Uh, hold on. Oh man, I wish everyone could just use computers. Why got to use your smartphones, man?
Well, hey, man. It was so we could get video.
All right. Hold on. What just happened? What's going on here? What's going on here? Okay. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just I was just curious about what you were kind of continuing to say.
What? Okay. Oh, yeah. So I was talking about not not beating yourself up and okay. So let's say let's hypothetically say this happens right now. Okay. Where James, you have a schedule. You have a schedule. You're following it, and then uh, the next day you're just like, you know what? Oh my goodness! You just wake up in the morning. You just think, man, I really don't feel like doing this today.
Right, yeah.
And I think the right mentality to have is okay. Um, I know I don't feel like doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know this is what's going to get me to my goals. It's going to help me achieve what I define as success. Uh, and I think what's really important in scheduling things to do is that internally, when we schedule something on our calendars and we think we have to do this, it's because we authentically know we have to do this. If we want to be successful, we have to do this. Uh, so let me give you a quick rundown of how I schedule my day. So actually, I sat down in my room one day to to plan out what am I going to do every single day. And for example, in one day, I thought, what is critical? If I want to be successful as a motivational speaker, what do I have to do for sure? And then I realized every single day I have to work minimally like at least 2 hours doing speech prep. Um, I call it either speech prep, like practicing what I'm going to say in front of audiences, or if I'm not doing that, I'll spend the 2 hours doing um, marketing, like contacting schools and things like that. Because I know for myself, if I want to make this into a career, I have to get working every single day or whatever. It doesn't have to be every single day. It could be every other day, whatever it is. But what is the bare minimum that I need to do to achieve the level of success that I want in my life? And I I've had to redefine uh, expectations set by society. For example, society expects, or my belief is society expects me to work or not like 9 to 5 or about 8 hours a day. I realize for
Yeah,
myself that for me right now, like I'm not cool with 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, like 8 hours a day. Like I would rather do all the critical things I need to do, the essential things to do, and then because I know that's enough for me. I don't need to be spending 8 hours a day right now. Maybe in the future, but for now, I'm good with accomplishing the core tasks that I set out for myself, and then I reward myself.
sure.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
what are the questions that you have right now?
Oh man, I'm trying to go through and look at. I think honestly, man, um, I have a lot of just kind of topics for discussion for the most part. I mean,
Hmm.
just because I've been thinking about it. I don't know if you relate to this, but whenever I really am thinking about something and I'm able to converse about it. I don't know if you relate to this, but just having a conversation with someone a lot about the issue you're having, a lot of times you end up just coming up with the answer, or you know what I'm saying. I don't know if you can relate to that at all. Um,
Sorry, can you repeat that? Connection.
yeah. I was just talking about just verbal thought processing, just um, being able to have a conversation with someone. I guess that was part of the other thing that I know is important. Um, is like if you do want to move in a certain direction, it's good to talk to other people that are also moving in that direction so that you can relate to each other and help each other out. Um, and then just
Okay,
even talking
so
about it.
it sounds like what I'm hearing is like surrounding ourselves with like-minded people.
Right.
Okay. And do, what would you say your question around that is regarding like surrounding ourselves with like-minded people?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if if it's something I can necessarily form into a question, or if it's just more of like a discussion,
Okay.
that sort of thing. If that makes any sense, or like
Okay.
I guess what I was really more looking for is like bringing up these topics and then having you share your personal experience with those topics. If that makes sense.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think what I'm seeing right now is there you have, and I think we all go through this too. Like we have a lot of uncertainty around certain topics, and we're not really sure what questions to ask because we're just like, here's a general something I kind of want to talk about. I'm not exactly sure what. So what I'm feeling from you is that based off of what we've previously just and what we're talking about right now is it sounds like the group of friends right now that you have right now. I'm sure they're cool guys. You drink beer, you hang out with them, but they're sitting there, doing their thing, which is cool. But you, as an individual, want to start moving on with your life. You want to start doing things that are more productive towards your life, because there's more to life for you. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm getting a vibe or a feeling from you that in a way these friends of yours are almost holding you back. Like they're not intentionally because they're just doing whatever they want, but because you feel like you still want to hang out with them. You don't want to disappoint them by not being their friend anymore. So you feel obligated to hang out with them. And if you hang out with them, then you don't have as much time to focus on your whatever it is that you really want in your life. Is that
Yeah. Can I
Am I
say a
close on
couple
that
things?
one?
I actually do have that actually does help
Yeah.
me think of a couple questions actually. Is
Okay. Perfect.
is
Perfect.
number one, and like I said earlier, I guess I'm just looking for your personal like what you've gone through regarding this. But I guess the first thing is the more that I find myself going in the direction that I want to go in, and kind of discovering myself and that sort of thing, the less I feel not obligated, but it gets to the point where I don't even really have a desire to spend time with those people anymore. I just feel like I can
Got it.
I can spend like a little bit of time hanging out with them, and then I feel like I need to go and I need to get stuff done. So that's one aspect of it. And I guess where I do have a question, and I guess this is like the primary struggle, is just how do you get over
Yeah.
being in, because like I said earlier, it's like you're leaving something that you've known for so long, a group of friends, and then you're changing and you're moving in a different direction, and then you start to have different people to hang out with. And when you're stuck in that limbo, when you're
Yep.
finding yourself, when you're like rebuilding your character, it's almost like it feels like it's like having an identity crisis or something. Because it's like you feel like because it's like you don't like the people you were friends with that you used to hang out with. You're not you're not wanting to. It seems like not a good investment of time because you're not accomplishing the things you want to accomplish. And then at the same time, you're still working on making new friends in the other area. And when you're in that limbo, I guess that's like my personal challenge right now. And I guess my question is just geared towards that. Is like, have you gone through that? And I don't know, just anything you can say that you think would help in that particular situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This is perfect. I love this. Real quick, I know we have viewers coming in and out right now, so anyone who's viewing and watching this, if you have any questions, feel free to just comment, and then James and I will be happy to kind of discuss and try to answer the questions that you have as well. But James, going back to you. So no, this is absolutely perfect. The just to make sure I understand and so well, just to recap, it sounds like you were talking about identity crisis where you got friends, but you kind of want to move on. So for me personally, like this is such a perfect example. So and I'm so one of my best friends from high school, and I still consider one of my best friends. For the longest time, I always felt like there's something off about our relationship. Like it just like even though we were best friends, we've been best friends for almost 10 years now. And
Okay.
she's, I used to talk to her. We used to do it 8 days a week because it's just we do everything together. But I've started to realize the way we think and process information. For example, I think the one thing, and yeah, hopefully, I mean, I guess I'm keeping her anonymous, but yeah, I'm talking about her. If she's happened to be watching this, or anyone who knows her, then yeah, then let's have the conversation. But I've talked to her about this already, and there's one day where I just after we're hanging out, I said, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I don't think we can be best friends anymore. It doesn't feel right to me." And and then she said, "Okay, why are you telling me this?" And I'm like, "Because it we're best friends, you know?" And then she's like, "Okay, like you didn't have to say that, Richard." And then I'm like, "Okay, well, I felt like I kind of needed to say it for myself." And we kind of ended on like this weird note because I told her, it doesn't mean I'm not going to talk to you anymore. It's just I need to let you know that I can't consider you as my best friend anymore. And about 3 weeks later, after I told her that, uh, I started processing the information, and I realized that mentally, in James, in your head, in my head, individually, we hang on to these. We identify these friends make up who we are.
Yeah.
So today uh, I've actually let that go. I've um, my friends, even my best friends today, don't define who I am. Like, again, actually having that weird, awkward conversation with her made us even better friends because now I could be open with her. It's
Oh wow.
even though we don't, yeah, even though we don't see on the same level, um, it's like I now accept her for who she is. Like, this is the way she is. She's on her own path. Uh, she's not as into personal development as I am. And that's something that I really like about my inner circle. Like, I want to be with people who are always trying to become better. And
Right.
so, to be honest, like right now, I'm in the process of looking for more close relationships with people who are on that same track, who are always trying to improve themselves. And but that doesn't mean I can't consider a good friend or a best friend, whatever. Um, yeah, yeah, and that applies to it's yeah, it's all mental. It's what I like. I talked to her afterwards, and then I realized why she said, "Why are you telling me this?" Like it didn't matter to her because it didn't matter to her. It didn't matter whatever she thought. It was really how I associated my friends, and it sounds like you're you kind of get what I mean, and you're in the same page.
No,
But
I actually
share with me
I'm
your thoughts.
that is so funny that you say that because I'm pretty much going through exactly the exact same thing. Like yeah, I don't know how much I want to go into it, but I have a friend that we've been very close for a long. We've been like brothers, and you're totally right, man. That's what it is these people start, and I don't know if it's like an internal thing, but it's like when someone gets to know you so well. Yeah, I mean, your friends do kind of define who you are, but I think to a certain point they can limit your progression because someone can get comfortable in being like, okay, this person's like this, but then when it's like, all right, well, I'm ready to move in a different direction, I'm ready to change, and then they're like, why are you acting so weird? Like, why are you? This isn't you. But it's like, how do you
Hmm.
know? Who are you to say who I am? You know what I'm saying? Um, like, what if I do? What if I
Right.
want to go a different route? What if I want to progress? That is really difficult. I think that's the That's so interesting that you said that you talked to her or whatever, because I think that that is what's so difficult is I don't know, you want to move forward, but at the same time you don't want to lose friends. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
tough
yeah,
situation for sure. Yeah,
yeah. Uh, and just like just my style, I'm definitely not one to burn bridges, and that's just me. Yeah, I mean, if some people that's their thing, that's cool. But for me, um, I'm an extremely honest person in general. I made it
yeah.
sound like I'm dishonest in other areas, but um, like when ooh, dark side. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, so what I'm saying is, okay, so how I do it. Like, let's say there's a friend, like the best friend I'm talking about, but I do this with almost everyone. Even girls I meet. Like, let's say we're going on a date and everything's like going really well, and we both kind of say that we like each other, and then let's say maybe after 2 or 3 weeks, I just realize, not interested anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not going to keep playing it off. I'm going to tell her, hey, just let you know, I'm not interested. I find out, I'm not really interested anymore, and but I'm always open to talking because that's just the person I am. Just because I'm not attracted to you doesn't mean that you're any less. It's just I'm not attracted to you, and we can still talk as friends, whatever. Same thing goes to for my best friend too. Just because you're not my best friend anymore doesn't mean I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I still think you're a great person. It's just, um, yeah, yeah. I'm moving on with my life, and you're moving on with your life, and we're just going, I guess, two different directions or paces. Directions sounds a little bit better.
right, yeah.
And honestly, like I've gone through so many best friends. I had a best friend in elementary school and middle school. I still keep in contact with him, one of them, and then the other one, I, I consider my best friend from elementary school. And back then, both of us, both of us kind of agreed, like, dude, we're gonna be lifelong friends. It doesn't matter what's gonna happen. And I've started to realize that our paths are the way we think are completely different. Like he's I'm more focused on, like, again, not personal development, but like I'm more focused on helping other people, while he's more focused on uh, running his own, business to make money, so he could be happy by
Sure.
himself, and that's cool. I respect what he does, but for me today, um, again, I respect people, but I want to be around people who want to help people, who want to grow and help people. So, because that's the person I am. That's how I identify myself. And so right now, those are the type of people who attract me. And so let's say I'm going this route, and these are friends. Like I have a friend that he's a life coach too. His name is John, and he's all about personal development. And like I only recently met him this year, but like I already consider him one of my best friends because he's so aligned with my passions and what I like to do, which is helping other people. So
Right.
more and more as I grow as an individual, I'm always going to find people who are like on track, on the same track as I am, and those are the people that I'm going to surround myself with, while still respecting all these other friends I've had in the past, and respecting and accepting that they're on their own path. I'm just not going to invest as much time into them as I am with people that I'm going to relate with.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
That's
What else? What else is on your mind?
no, that's really interesting what you said about just like that you actually confront people right away and tell them. Because I feel that's definitely something that I haven't been doing, which I need to, and it gets kind of awkward if you don't do that over time. I don't know if
Oh, I know how that feels.
you know what I mean?
I did that my whole entire life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, man. That's something I'm, if
Yeah.
anything, I will take that away from this conversation. Um,
Awesome, man. Awesome. It's dude, I'll tell you, dude, it feels amazing. It's like all these years, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, uh, and even post college, I've had all these like weird emotions. You know, the awkward like, oh man, uh, either it's like I really like you and I don't want to tell you, or I really don't like you and I don't want to tell you.
yeah,
But you have all
yeah,
these
yeah,
like, and then we start to act awkward in front of these people, and we're just like, you know what, I don't want to mess with that right now. You know, like
yeah,
I
right.
don't want to cause drama, so I'm not going to tell. It's
Yeah,
irrelevant. What I actually did this past year, I literally contacted every single person that I had some sort of negative energy with, like negative or like I went both ways. If I Negative energy is the more important one. Like if I had a problem with someone, even though it was long gone, like whatever, like from high school, I had a problem with this guy who like he accused me of stealing money from the club. He kicked me out of a classroom. He's a student, and he like reported me from like let's say this organization, and then he reported me like talked to this supervisor of this organization and said, hey, Richard's been causing trouble in this organization. Like these two organizations have nothing to do with each other, and I didn't do anything. Like that was the worst part of it, and I felt so bad. But I just called him up one day. He didn't pick up, but I left a voicemail just saying, hey, I just want to talk about this, and not for him, but for me to be at peace for myself. And because I've talked to everyone, I think I've talked to everyone that I've had negative energy with up till today. I no longer carry that burden with me anymore.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah, man. I that definitely gives me some stuff to put on my to-do list now. Oh,
awesome, man.
yeah. So, man. Okay. So I don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah. So as much and crazy as all my kind of thoughts were on this whole thing, I guess honestly, I really just kind of have like a summarized final question potentially. And man, I am really just kind of leaning on where it seems like you were at in the last video you put up. For example,
yeah,
last night. So this is what I try to do. I'm a really creative person, and I'm into writing music and photography and philosophy, and I'm getting into more personal development. I have been recently. But anyway,
yeah,
I have for a while, and I think this is one of the reasons why it's hard. And I don't know, maybe this can be like another thing that you could touch on. But just
hmm
the whole idea of addiction and any type of addiction. I heard somebody say this the other day, and it really hit me. But they said like the reason why most addictions fall back into addiction is because they don't believe in themselves. And that was like for me, I was like, wow, that's totally what it is. Because I will start writing a lot and going through the creative process, and then I'll just get to a point where I just don't believe that I can make a difference or I can do anything anyone's going to appreciate. And lately, I've been just trying
yeah,
to change my mindset, and I've gone through a lot of struggles where I've accomplished things that I didn't think that I could do, just because of most people
yeah,
that are successful. If you look at what they say, they're just like, hey, just be disciplined, put in the time, and you can do anything pretty much. So I'm starting to believe that more. I'm starting to have more confidence in what I want to do, and also for a long time, for this last year in particular, I haven't known in particular like really what I want to do, and that's becoming more clear. Even in the last week, it's become a lot more clear. So anyway,
hmm
where I'm going
yeah,
with this question is, like you said, you have goals every day. For me, what I found out that's been working is to have a small goal, like, and it doesn't even have to be anything that crazy. Like when I get home from work, no matter how long my day was or anything, I'm just going to dedicate a half an hour to writing or some sort of creative thing. And then when I get up in the morning, I spend a half an hour. And that's all that I have to do. But if I want to spend
that's
longer,
awesome.
I can. And what I found out, like last night, I'll end up just going through the motions, and I'll end up coming up with something creative that my heart is really in. And like last night, I don't
Yeah.
know how it happens. Like I don't know if you write music or whatever, but sometimes it just falls together. It's so crazy. But I've been taking a lot of pictures, and I have this idea that I want to go out and take these pictures that say something and write music to it and put a message behind it, like have like talking like over it or whatever. So anyway, I got home from work last
Yeah.
night, and I was just writing for like 4 hours, and I didn't even like have any desire to procrastinate or do anything else. And it was based on just good habits, which is really cool. And honestly,
Yeah.
that is where I want to be. I want to be to a point where I don't even have like the desire to be distracted. So I guess what my question
Same here,
is,
man.
yeah. So I guess what my kind of final question is, and I don't know, maybe this is the answer, but I go through times like that where, like recently, The Witcher 3 came out, so I'm a big like PC guy. I like to build PCs and stuff like that. So I had like a few days in this last week where I was a little unproductive. Um, but
Sorry,
anyway,
sorry,
I
can
guess,
you repeat that? Back.
yeah. Repeat what part?
Just start over. Last thing I heard was PC. You're a big PC
Okay,
guy.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm into building PCs and stuff like that. The Witcher 3 came out last week or whatever, so I'm really into stuff like that, stuff with good stories. And I don't know, that's just anything that's immersive. And I don't know, I think that's probably why I play
Mhm.
games, honestly, as I get tired and bored of reality, and I want someplace to escape to that's not that's beyond reality. So yeah, I was just saying
Mhm.
I just had a few days where I was kind of unproductive, and it's just like I was saying earlier, and like you said, it only takes a day or two, and I feel horrible. Like, so I guess that forms up my final question is, do I continue on this path of good habits and eventually hope and try to get them to overtake everything, or do it at some point? Do I just need to cold turkey, just cut it all out and like deal with it? So I guess that's my question.
Uh,
Hopefully that makes sense.
can you repeat that one more time? Yeah, you got kind of cut off.
Yeah, sure. So the question is basically, do I continue on this path of discipline and good habits, and will that eventually just overtake everything, or do I need to at some point like just cut out those things cold turkey?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I believe it's all about discipline. Like it had honestly, cold turkey, in my opinion, has is a terrible strategy. I think, for example, let's say someone goes cold turkey on smoking. Good for them. Good for them. I think that's amazing to have that discipline to go cold turkey and just go for it. But
Right,
I think um, you're only tackling one thing. And I'm not saying that doesn't help. You're definitely going to be a better
right,
person by going cold turkey, but it doesn't tackle the root, and the root is discipline. For example, uh, okay, here's a personal example. I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier because I don't know if you saw my
awesome.
weight loss video. What was that
No, man.
last year? I don't know, but I gained my weight back. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna at least start taking baby steps. So I took out deep fried foods from my diet. Now,
Great.
so essentially, I'm going cold turkey on deep fried foods, and that's easy. Like it's easy to pinpoint one thing, like take it out.
Right,
Um, that's not going to resolve my overall eating habits because then I'll just find something else to replace it.
right.
So I
Yeah,
think discipline, yeah, like when we focus on being disciplined, that's going to encompass everything for us. That's going to give us okay. Discipline equals control of our life, and if we have control of our life, then our habits don't. And then we dictate okay habit, video game habit, like screw you, I'm not playing you right now, or you know what, I got time right now. I just want to relax. I want to be immersed in a good story. I'll play you right now. Yeah. So I think that like just discipline is an amazing thing, and I know it's such a serious sounding word. Oh, you need
I
discipline.
know, I know.
um, and uh, yeah, like I'm always I'm always working on becoming a more disciplined person. I am by far like I'm by far a disciplined person. Like people might see me as a disciplined person, but I think I have so much room to improve on in that, and I accept it. And people keep thinking, "No, Richard, I think you're pretty disciplined." And here's the thing: this is where we can't compare ourselves to other people. And okay, hold on, let me rephrase that. This is the danger of comparing ourselves to other people. We should never ever compare ourselves to other people because every single person has their own journey. Like for me, my level of discipline might be higher than other people's, but it's definitely going to be lower than other people's. Like let's say Steve Jobs or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, Oprah Winfrey. Like these,
Bill Gates, I heard
like
that
I don't
he
want to say
didn't take a day off for years or something. Yeah. Yeah.
sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about being happy with your journey. Like, what is your definition of discipline and happiness? What's going to make you happy? And that's all that really matters. Yeah. So let's focus on
Cool.
that discipline and cold turkey if you want to, but just know it's not a. I don't think it's a permanent solution.
Yeah.
Even if even if you did go cold turkey and then you happen to not play video games for the rest of your life, it's that addictive nature is going to show up somewhere else in your life if it's not video games.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Is there any other questions?
Man, I don't know.
Pretty good conversation.
Yeah, that started off a little scatterbrained, but it got pretty focused pretty quick. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that was the most thing is just the friend like feeling kind of in limbo in between friends and just the uncertainty of where because you're right and I've actually had a lot of thought about that recently that you know everyone does have their own journey and that sort of thing so yeah man I'm just trying to get to a point where I am putting in, you know, spending my time the way I want to and not, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of different things to say about that potentially. But
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, man, that makes a lot of sense, especially like the whole cold turkey thing, because that's what it was, and I think probably if anything, this is what most people can relate to, is just is you
Hmm.
fall into whatever your addiction is or whatever your bad habits are, and then you feel like really bad and then the only reason you're doing productive stuff is because you felt bad about doing something you know and then as soon as you feel good you're like ah whatever I can go back to being lazy um, so yeah that totally makes sense just like discipline and implementing things over time slowly like even what you said with your diet you know, you don't overnight the next
Hmm.
day start eating, you know, 5 meals a day with vegetables and meat and like like different carbohydrate every meal. Like you're not going to be able to. You don't even probably know how to cook that much. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be too much of a lifestyle change.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, right. So it's like you
Spot on,
implement
man.
like
Spot on.
yeah you implement one thing at a time and then over time it's just like a progression instead of like overnight I'm a different person. Like you never got to experience the progression of like moving from one point to another. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
dude,
think
I'm excited for you. I think you're on the right track, and I know you got the right mindset for it, and you yeah you'll be good, man. I know you'll be just keep on going, and I I don't know why this quote sticks to me so much, but I might have said it a few times, but it's the only way you could fail is by quitting.
right.
Like if you keep going, you can't fail. You know, you just you keep being persistent, and that's I mean, you might fail temporarily, but if you're looking at the long run, if you have an end goal, as long as you don't give up on that, and you just keep going, you're eventually going to get there. Or you're going to die before that happens. But that's besides the point. What's really important is the yeah.
Oh man, that brings up some.
Yeah, man.
Do you ever listen to Ty Lopez? Do you know who that is?
Why does that name sound familiar? I don't listen to him, but I've heard that name before.
Okay. Oh, you will if you're into. I mean, I just recommend check. I know you'll love him, but he was a. There's a guy named Joel Salatin who was actually a big organic farmer, and he's actually. I actually heard about him because he was one of Chipotle's people that they bought from or whatever, because Chipotle buys local or whatever. But anyway, he had someone that he mentored who actually went on to do. He's actually like a multimillionaire, and he went on to do TED Talks, and he has a YouTube channel, and he puts up videos like every day, and he has books of the day. And his thing is that you read a book every day, and he always recommends stuff. So I actually have a book that I already bought from him that I haven't started reading it. My plan is I'm going to have some more time in a couple of weeks, and I'm just going to be reading a lot more. But it's called Seneca on the Shortness of Life. And it says life is long if you know how to live it. And he talked about it a little bit, and he basically said what happens to most people. Like you said, everybody has their own goals and purpose and that sort of thing, pursuit of or whatever. But a lot of people get to the end of their life, and it's just a life of addiction and procrastination. And they get to the end, and they complain or cry that they didn't have enough time. And what this book talks about is, in reality, you're actually given a generous amount of time. And if you learn how to use it, you can easily accomplish everything. So anyway, I'm about to. That's all I know about the book so far, but I'm about to dive into it, and it's actually pretty. It's like 100 pages or something. But yeah, I thought that I would throw that your way. Yeah, it's pretty. It's like right on that topic. So
All right, thank you, man.
cool.
Sweet. I have Ty Lopez pulled up here. I'll check out some videos.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like
It was, it was good.
every time I listen to him, I have something that I'm thinking about like all day. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sweet, man. All
Cool.
right, man. Yeah, dude, it was great chatting with you. And yeah, if you have any more questions, if anyone else all one viewer, and whoever ends up watching this video, if you have any questions, feel free to James, you too, again, feel free to just hit me up again, and I'm happy to have conversations like this with you again, because I love it. I think I learned a lot about myself, and I just learned a lot in general when I have the opportunity to help other people. So I feel like I have the most cheat career ever. Like it's that one. It's a career where like I get paid, like motivational speaking, I get paid to help other people, but I'm really like it's almost selfish. Like I'm just helping myself really.
Yeah.
So it's a total win-win.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I would love to stay in contact with you at some point and just keep. I'm gonna keep progressing, so that's not even a question really at this point. But uh, yeah, I have an inherent interest in what you're doing. I'd love to stay in contact. So
Yeah, yeah. Same thing, man. Likewise. Yeah, yeah. Again, I'm always I love hanging out with people who are always trying to better themselves and yeah, just do good things.
awesome.
All right, man.
Cool, man.
All right. Well, it was good chatting, and I'm sure we'll chat again.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right. Take care. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one. Peace.